first pinch point is when the threat begins to be revealed. When the true villain starts to loom over the story. It's the part of the story where the character starts to feel the true pressure of their situation. But how do you write this looming moment that foreshadows everything? Welcome to Writing Quest. Hello everyone, welcome to Writing Quest, and in today's episode we are talking about the first pinch point. It's the first part of the story where the enemy and the villain really starts to loom over the whole thing. It's not necessarily where the story really reveals who it is or what it is, but it is where that threat begins to come about. So the character might perceive it as a villainous threat, but not the true villain. They may be just their internal conflict coming to light. It's really the first part of the story where the pressure really starts to get put on them by the external, which preys upon their internal. Before we get any further, stick around to the end of today's video to see where we are in the progress of the book and how things are coming along. Huzzah! Alright, so the first pinch point, as I said before, is where the true villain starts to be foreshadowed. They might not be fully revealed yet, but it's definitely where we start to see where that villain or what that villain might be. It's really where the pressure starts to build, and it's the fallout from the first plot point. So whatever choice they make during the impossible choice, this is the fallout. This is the kind of the consequence of that moment, of the choice that they make. And really, if this is done correctly, this is the part of the story where you can foreshadow your true villain and prey upon that internal conflict of your main character. And really, and it can really be the kind of first darkest moment. We'll get to the darkest moment later in this video series, but it can really be that foreshadowing of what the darkest moment could be. And it really starts to be this moment where the character really doubts themselves, which sets them up going into Act 2 for where they are at the beginning of that, where they're really doubting themselves and they don't really know where to go or what to do. Okay, so the first pinch point in regards to our story of Wolves and Wizards, which if you haven't checked that out, please check it out on Wattpad. For our character Ro, who has been kind of having this back and forth with the wolves. She's really trying to decide, who am I? What's going on? And this is where that all comes to a head for her. So she decided to go with the wolves in this moment. And because of that, what's going to happen is she's going to get caught by Guyan and everything is going to come to a head. So Guyan's kind of her father figure mentor in the story. And so because she chooses to meet with the wolves and she's been meeting with them in secret and she's kind of apart and kind of not, but she's hiding it all of that secrecy for her comes to a head. Guyan catches her, and because Guyan's kind of big thing is that he doesn't trust the wolves, he's completely against the wolves, he's been fighting them his whole life, he just feels totally deceived, feels so much deception and hurt, and completely loses trust in her to the point where he actually banishes her from their village. This is a big deal for Ro because Ro's whole internal conflict is that she wants to be the, best she can be. She wants to serve her people, serve her village. She wants to live up to her father's legacy. And now, because of the choices she's made and the things that she's done and the things that have happened that were out of her control, she's been banished from her village. Now, going forward, what's really cool about this particular plot point is I think it's really a cool emotional moment. So you really get to kind of invest in the character and feel that, which makes it important and not just plot driven. But going forward with the plot, it really gives us an opportunity to go visit the wolves. So at the beginning of Act 2, we're going to start going to be a part of the wolves. There's going to be a little moment where she doesn't want to go with the wolves, but ultimately she has nowhere else to go. And because this book is called Of Wolves and Wizards, I really wanted to come across a moment where, we've been with these people, we've been with the high people, we've been exploring their whole race and how they live and their culture. And so now we're going to get that moment with the wolves. It comes on the heels of tragedy, so it's going to make it feel like it's really matters and really important, but we're going to get that opportunity. So we're going to get both sides of the coin of Wolves and Wizards, and then we're going to launch into the rest of our story. As it pertains to Guion and Artemis, like I said, with Guion, he's going to feel super betrayed. He's going to feel super kind of like his whole, everything that he put into Ro, every kind of teaching and every kind of, he kind of put everything into raising her as his own in a way. And he's going to be just completely betrayed. And then you're going to have Artemis, who is going to basically see both sides of that coin and not really know what to do. He, again, is going to be torn by, he already doesn't feel like he can lead these people. He already feels like he's not living up to what he's supposed to be doing. And then you have a thing happen where it could go either way, and he sees both sides, and now he really can't choose. He really doesn't know what to do. I'm really excited about this. What I like most about it is it's actually it kind of looms the threat, and we'll get into that when we get past Act 2 and get into the second pinch point and into Act 3, where we reveal who the real villain is. The true villain, and you'll see how it ties back to this first pinch point. I'll make sure that I kind of wrap it around that way so you can really see how those play together. But the best part about this pinch point is that it's showing the internal conflict is the villain. It's preying upon that and turning it into something that's, I think, probably really compelling and something that readers are really going to enjoy. So that is where we sit right now with the book. It is officially, as of this recording, the beginning of February. So I have begun writing the book, and I have completely scratched to the beginning. And so we're only at about 1,000 words or so. I saved everything that had been written before, but like I said, we are going to kind of revisit, revamp, and go forward from there. So I'm really excited about where it's going. You can check it out on Wattpad, read it there, keep track of everything I'm doing. And the outline, I would say we're like 95, 96, 97%. We are right there. So I really like what Abby Emmons says about outlines. The outline is your first draft. So I've really taken my time with this outline to make it my first draft. So now as I'm writing, this is kind of my revised draft, where when I get to the end of it, I'm not going to have a mess of a book. That's my goal. Thank you for watching this episode of Writing Quest. Hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. Leave a comment below if you want to keep talking about this particular subject. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we will see you next time. Huzzah!